It's come all spontaneous views. I'm gonna talk about. First let me say this. I'm gonna congratulate hip hop on its 50th anniversary. I waited to December of 2023 to do this. I was planning on doing this blog for a while now. I'm kind of glad I waited due to some of the stuff that transpired, not necessarily in hip hop, but with certain individuals within the community and the culture of hip hop. And I really didn't want to incorporate him with it. And y'all could probably guess who I'm even talking about. Bad Boy. But first I want to talk about hip hop. I want to congratulate hip hop on its 50th year anniversary. That's a big accomplishment. Now, before I start, I'm not in my car. My car, I'm getting some detail work done to my car. So this setup is different again. But the car that I bought, I'm getting, like, I need to get my windows tinted. Like I'm about to get my car right. In other words, that's what I'm saying. So I'm in a rental that the dealer gave me. But anyway, I want to talk about hip hop. And the reason why I want to talk about hip hop, because look, I'm hip hop. And the reason why I say that is because I know a lot of people may not know, just based off the fact of, like, I'm in my 40s, obviously. I grade up, so I'm obviously in my mid 40s. I'm not ashamed of my age at all, because I'm proud of the year in the era that I grew up in. The reason why I say that, I want to give y'all a brief timeline of how I got introduced to hip hop and my involvement and my graduate growth of into hip hop. So again, this is talking about the 50th year of hip hop, but I'm going to give you my take and I'm going to give you the industry take. And I might hit you with a couple conspiracy. Well, you know how I get. I'm about that. Y'all know I'm about that. But anyway, hip hop is very special to me. I have a twin brother. That's a fun fact that, unknown fact, a lot of people, because when you a twin, you don't really, I know I have a twin brother, but I don't walk around like it's I'm so used to it now. I just expect people to think or to know that I have a twin brother. But his name is Jamal, so come on, his name is Jamal. But anyway, the reason why I'm bringing him up, I remember I was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. On the radio stations on Fridays and Saturday nights, it was 2 radio stations, WBLS and Kiss FM. Every Friday and Saturday night, we used to record new music, new hip hop on the radio. Keep in mind, I couldn't have been no more than 7, 8 years old when I got first introduced. Like, I remember hearing Public Enemy Bring the Noise on the radio, and my brother sitting next to me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, I don't know the slang we used back then. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, yo, this is tight. I know we wasn't saying this is fire. We wasn't saying, yo, that's dope. I don't know what my slang was at 7, 8 years old in Jersey at that time. But the point I'm trying to make is, we used to record music off the radio. We had our stereo system. We had a dual cassette. We used to buy cassette tapes, and every Friday and Saturday we used to record new music from 9 to 12 every Friday and Saturday night. So just a real quick note, I don't like to argue with people when it comes to hip hop. I'm too hip hop for some people. Like, some people will say, oh, well, you don't like the way hip hop has grown. Hip hop, well, let me put it like this. Hip hop has grown, yes, but today's music is not hip hop. So let me fast forward a little. So you got to understand, I was engulfed in music and rap music at a very early age. Very early. So I don't argue with people when it comes to I just don't argue with people when it comes to that. Period. I just don't when it comes to hip hop. Now, the take I want to put on this is, like I said, I saw an interview with Dr. Umar. And he had a brief he was briefly talking about hip hop and the contributions that that hip hop hasn't brought to our community, yet it's a $1 billion industry. So with me, I feel like I have a voice because I grew up in the Rakims. I grew up in the Big Daddy Kanes, and you could fast the LL Cool J's, KRS-Ones. I grew up on that. I grew up, and then you fast forward to X-Clan and Stetson Sonic, Daddy O, and I can keep going. I could just keep on naming artists that came out around that time that I was influenced by. But the point that Dr. Umar made, he said, after 50 years of hip hop, he said, we have no bank, we have no schools, we have nothing to show for other than flashy cars and houses that we can barely afford in the first place. Another thing with hip hop we got to understand is, yes, the glitz and glamour of hip hop was cool, but it's not real in a sense. There's only a handful of artists in hip hop that's really making noise or really making money, I should say. It's not a lot of people. So people get trapped into the glitz and glamour of the house, like the videos. I remember a point in time when we talked about hip hop, Hype Williams used to direct a lot of Busta Rhymes videos. And they were, I think Missy Elliott's, like he had these wild, eccentric videos that captivated the audience. Now, this was like in the early 2000s. So I fast forwarded way from like the mid 80s to like the 2000s, because after Jersey, we moved to South Carolina. South Carolina was slow when it came to music. So me and my brother had to literally wait on music or get one of our cousins from up in Jersey to send us music. So like, say when they came home for like the holidays, like now, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, we used to have our cousins bring us music or the new stuff down to South Carolina, because they didn't have no new stuff in South Carolina. Back then, music was distributed late. Back then, music almost like it hit the Northeast first, then it hit the South, then it hit the West, the Midwest and the West, and so forth and so on. So, hip-hop, well, the point I'm trying to make, just to conclude off that, Dr. Umar is totally right. We don't have anything to show for when it comes to hip-hop. So, yeah, we got the videos, yeah, we got the cars, the jewelry, and we got hit songs. Like, yeah, we have that. But what else can we show for? Now, hip-hop, let me get into that hip-hop is an acronym, in case nobody knows about this. Hip-hop is an acronym. Hip-hop is higher, infinite power, healing our people. Once again, hip-hop, higher, infinite power, healing our people. The number one question I ask people when I tell them that is, how is today's hip-hop benefiting our community? It's not. It's sending our young kids to jail because you're talking about drugs. You're talking about stuff that's unrealistic. Yeah, it's easy for somebody to go out and get a pack and serve, but what does that go? So, in other words, you're like, hip-hop now is basically incriminating people. Look at Young Thug's situation. Look at Gunna. Look at all these cats that's getting locked up based off of the words that they rapped. Young Thug is in jail right now off of words that he rapped in the past. We're talking 2015, 2016. That's crazy. So higher infinite power healing our people. Obviously, you can tell that hip-hop is not healing our people at all. If anything, it's killing our people. So I want to really just dive into the pros and cons of it. So let me deal with the cons of hip-hop, and I want to end off on a lighter note. The cons of hip-hop is detrimental because people are persuaded from what they hear. That's what I mean by when you look at a Young Thug, when you look at a anybody that's been incriminated or incriminated themselves when it comes to hip-hop, how is that benefiting us as a people? It's not. It's not benefiting us. So really, I don't call today's music, and I'm just gonna say it, I don't call today's music hip-hop. I'm not taking away from the music. I just can't call today's music hip-hop. I just can't, because it's not hip-hop. Today's music is rap music. That's exactly what it is. It's rap. They're just rapping. They're putting words together, and they're just rapping. That's it. And it sounds good because the cadence of the rap has changed versus how back in the day when it was dun 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 dun. I'm just giving you like a 2-bar setup. Now it's dun 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 dun. They sped up the cadence. But I'm not saying it's not hot, but you're not saying nothing. You're not what people are saying, and people call it mumble rap. That's the term that they use when it comes to that type of rap. They call it mumble rap. Okay. My thing is this. At this point, like these award shows, like we have to separate the genre of hip-hop. You have to have a hip-hop category and you have to have a rap category, because you can't tell me KRS-One should be in a conversation with a Young Thug or Outkast being in the same conversation as a Yo Gotti or Moneybagg Yo. And again, I'm not talking bad about these people at all. Much respect to all these people that I might name or name in this blog. But the reason why you cannot compare Wu-Tang Clan and like the Franchise Boys. If anybody remember the Franchise Boys was a clique that Jermaine Dupri formed, and they was talking about white tea. Again, I'm in Atlanta, so I'm privy to Jermaine Dupri wave in hip hop. I'm privy to like the Dungeon Family, Outkast, and Sleepy Brown, and I forgot I'm just gonna say the Dungeon Family just to keep it simple. But then you had this wave of artists, 8-Ball MJG. I remember that when I first moved, when I first heard Space Age Pimpin', that was fire. UGK, that was fire. I was like, it was an introduction to me. Now, to me, I still classify those artists as hip hop. But today's rap, if you sound, and that's another thing I want to say too. Back in my days, if you sounded like someone, dude, you could not come out. Nowadays, you have about I'm being generous. You might have about 10 artists that sound exactly the same. If they don't sound the same, they have the same cadence. You couldn't do that back in the day when I was growing up. Big Daddy Kane didn't sound like Rakim. Rakim didn't sound like KRS-One. So forth and so on. You just didn't have that. Nowadays, it's okay. And it's mainly because I'm gonna go to the radio stations now. The radio stations are controlled, and this is the little conspiracy that I'm gonna throw into this blog. Radio stations are controlled. They are controlled of what they play daily on the radio. I remember my first time hearing Juvenile's song, Ha. You know, that you and that big body Benz, huh? You and your old lady Benz, huh? That man, the song, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. This is a hip hop blog. I got to keep it real. When I first heard that song, I thought it was a joke. Plain and simple. But let me tell you what the trick that the radio station do. The radio station to play this song over and over, repetition is key. They will play songs over and over until you find yourself literally reciting it. You could be, like right now, I'm in my car driving, and they'll throw on Juvenile's track. And I'm just using them as an example. It's other artists, but that's the one that comes to my head first. You throw on that track, you're going to find yourself reciting the same thing. And you're like, hold up. Just 3 weeks ago, I didn't even like this song. Now you're reciting it. Guess what? Because it's repetition. And they know repetition with people subconsciously absorb it. So when it comes to the radio stations know that they're controlling the algorithms, which is I'm on YouTube and I'm talking about algorithms, but the radio stations know what they're doing. That's the point I'm trying to make. They know that if a song comes out, even if you feel like it's not good, if you keep playing that song over and over, it's going to attract people. Radio wasn't like that. Again, why radio don't play, I don't know, any artist, I'm just going to say any hip hop artist. You don't hear hip hop on the radio. You hear the same repetitious music every single day. These radio stations are controlling what you hear. You don't hear Common on the radio no more. You don't hear Black Thought on the radio no more. You don't hear these artists. And you know what the first thing people will say? Oh, they ain't got no hit records. Bruh, the only thing that makes a record a hit is if the radio stations keep playing it over and over. Now you hearing people buying streams and paying radio stations to play their. You got record labels paying radio stations to play their music. And then I heard, but just do the research. You got artists paying for billboard spots. So I was real big on, the Jet magazine. I don't know if y'all familiar with Jet magazine, but every issue used to come out. My mom used to have the Jet magazine issue. And they always, in the back of the magazine, they always list the top, I think top 30 albums, like top 30, I forgot how much it was. It was like the little Jet magazine page, and they came up with the top music that was out. Rap was still competing, or hip hop was still competing with these other radios. I mean, it was still competing with other genres of music, I should say, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that you can't say Common is not making a hit. You can't say a Black Thought, Wu-Tang, KRS-One. You can't say these artists are not making hits because the radio stations is not playing their music. That's the downfall of hip hop right now. Hip hop, we don't have nothing to show for other than people going in and out of jail, drug addicts, and then look at Future. You got hip hop artists talk about doing drugs, and they don't even do it. You're influencing the person that's listening to your music. So you're not even popping these mollies you talking about, or these Xannies and all this crazy talk. You're not even doing that. You're not even doing that. But yet you're giving clout to doing it, knowing that the public, that the radio station, let me tell you the domino effect. You record the song, you talking about stuff that you're not doing. The radio station then takes it to the the record label takes it to the radio station. The radio station then pays the radio disc jockeys money to spin these records over and over and over. So now you got somebody that's let's just say an average 15, 16-year-old child, whether it's a girl or a boy, listening to this, and because they like you as an artist, you're talking about doing Molly, and then they start to go do Molly, and then, come on, man, that ain't cool. You got hip hop artists, and I'm gonna keep it real again. Young Jeezy talked about Snowman, talking about pushing that weight. But then you got your son going to college, and I guarantee you ain't got him doing that. So I can understand you say, okay, yeah, I use this to help feed my family. I get it. But you can change what you rap about, though. So to put and I'm gonna definitely have to do a part 2 to this. I know a lot of my blogs I'll be saying I'm gonna do a part 2, but for this right here, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this. I have to. Hip hop has changed in a way that it's not beneficial to our people. It's not. What can you benefit from the average hip hop song nowadays? And then when you do hear something that's positive, it ain't gonna get no spins on the radio. I mean, right now, I used to rap. I know I've said this on many blogs. My style of rap wasn't talking about pushing weight. I was dealing with lyrics and rapping and just having fun with it. But you got to understand, I'm in Atlanta, so when I was rapping back in the mid 2000, and I could say I started around 2007 or 8. But I'm in Atlanta, so look at the wave that came out around that time. I started rapping. Well, I was doing poetry at first. I was writing poems. So one day I was at my friend's house, real quick. I was just reciting. He was rapping. I was doing poetry. I wasn't doing writing. I wasn't rhyming at the time. I wasn't writing it in a song form, I should say. One day he said, man, you need to make that rap. That sound fire, but just make it rap. So the next day I went home and just started rapping to a beat. And that's how I taught myself how to rap. So that's why I know when I rap, when I was rapping back then, I didn't sound like nobody. But the wave that was coming in, you had the snap music. Lean with it, rock with it, you had that snap. You had these cats coming up, Jeezys and all these cats coming up in Atlanta at that time. So imagine me, I'm not talking about pushing weight. I'm not talking about all that extra stuff. I'm just dealing with lyrics. I'm just rapping. That got shunned away. Even though I was still rapping, it was hard for me to shop any one of my demos or CDs. It was CDs back then, if people don't know. It was hard for me to shop my music around. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that music changed, but it didn't change for the better. It didn't. Hip hop, again, I'm a mock what Dr. Umar said on that interview. We don't have nothing to show for. Hip hop is, now I know why Nas said hip hop is dead. Even though it's not dead, it is dead. Because it's not hip hop. It's not higher, infinite power healing our people. It's not. Hip hop is rap. I don't have an acronym for it. Ratchet ass, I don't know. I would say people, but all of them ain't ratchet. But it's just not the same. So my thing is on this, award shows, please change. We need two different genres now. We need a hip hop category and we need a rap category. You can't combine them together. It don't even look right. It don't look right for Lloyd Banks about 7 years ago when he came out with Beamer, Benz, and Bentley went gold. I think he was up for an award, but he's in the mix with other artists that's not even lyrically close to him. That's what I don't get. How you gonna put everybody in one genre of music when you say you want, I like lyrical content. So now you got the Griseldas, you have these artists that's coming out and they're giving lyrical content. I like bars, Rome Streets, Stove God. I'm not gonna name everybody from Griselda, but that's what I listen to right now because of the bars, and that's why I'm big on battle rap. I don't really listen to rap, only a few. When I can find one of my CDs, I listen to myself sometimes. But overall, I'm not really listening. I don't listen to the radio. When I'm coming home from work, I either got Apple Music on, or I got YouTube on, or I'm doing this right now. But I gotta do a part 2 to this. This video went long and I don't even feel like I said much. I don't want to make this video too long, so this is definitely going to be sooner than later. I'm going to definitely come out with a part 2 to this. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm going to congratulate hip-hop on its 50th anniversary. But we got some work to do, people. Like, we got some work to do. It's a lot of change that's needed. And I'm glad that we got the lyrical content of music coming back. Because without it, there's no balance. Everybody can't sound the same. And if, let's keep it real, man, a lot of these artists that's coming out, they sound the same. They got the same flow, the same cadence. They might say, instead of them saying cat in the hat, they might say bat in the rat. It's just, come on, man, it's just the same. It's the same thing. I'm going to conclude off this. I thought about a rhyme I wrote a long time ago. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's funny how when you do music with people, like when I wrote this, and I'm a spit it, but I don't know if I'm gonna remember all of the words of it, because trust me, I was every bit of 26, 27 years old when I wrote this. But I just want to give you a glimpse about what I was writing about and what you hear on the radio now. And then I'm going to conclude the video. I got to do a part 2. But forgive me if I don't have too much passion behind it, because you got to understand, like, to me, it was a good verse, but it wasn't my best, I should say. But people liked it. But anyway, I'm going to conclude off this. This is what I said. I said, time flies when you ain't got no dough. Time flies when you ain't running the show. Walk around with some shines, but you still can't glow. Walk around with some... hold up, let me say that again. I done forgot it already. Time flies when you ain't got no dough. Time flies when you ain't running the show. Walk around with some shines, but you still can't glow. Time to grow into an average money making. Bring home the bacon. My bank account triple zeroed up caking. You know, making the dough real quick. Like drafted as a future #1 pick. In many ways, I was blessed with God's gift, but didn't need no presents. I self-taught lessons out of adolescence. I was stuck watching my father's chrome weapons, dealing with the choice of holding a pistol. I was told if you wear them shoes that better fit you. Had to play it cool though, cause them streets are testing. They searching a brother for further arresting. Them cops clocking. They strip you down from your neck and socking. They have you walking up and down the blocking. As I grow old, I was told early to think vital. Give information in the long cycle with lyrics that you would think that I'm reciting the Bible with undiscovered chapters from an undiscovered rapper. But I can't take that title because some of it is just full of laughter. Read about it in the next chapter. Now, that was a verse I did a long time ago. I didn't like the verse. But when I started listening to the verse, I was like, you know what? That's me. That's the type of flow and rhymes that I was doing at that time. So listen to that verse and listen to what you hear on the radio. And that will conclude my part 1 of this hip-hop blog. Come on, Kamal. Spontaneous views. I'm definitely going to do a part 2. And one of the main reasons I'm going to talk about what I talked about the cons. I ain't talking about too much of the pros or cons, I should say. But that's going to be the next topic. And I'm going to get on your boy, too. Come on, spontaneous views. I'm out.